"Now strip," Ken ordered. "No fucking way." Gordy was still chuckling to himself. "A fully outfitted SAS team. They're youngsters, true, and fresh out of... No, I won't bet any body parts, but I will wager a crisp $100 bill that if there's any taking out to be done, my boys will be the ones doing it." Ken knew what Mackenzie was thinking. The men from SEAL Team 16 were playing the part of the Tangos, terrorists, as the six-man SAS team from England trained, practicing the rescue of a hostage. That hostage being, of course, the one and only Gordy Mackenzie, so freaking full of himself it was a wonder he wasn't bobbing against the ceiling like a helium balloon. Mackenzie was thinking about the fact that his SAS boys were dressed for a rescue mission. They had the gear and the MREs, meals ready to eat in case they got hungry. They had the firepower, so to speak. The automatic weapons both teams were using didn't shoot real bullets. They were part of a kick-ass computer program that worked like a state-of-the-art high-tech paintball game. Except instead of covering the other players with bright-colored paint, a direct hit was registered via satellite in the mainframe computer. A hit severe enough to kill disabled an individual player's ability to use any of the weapons, even one stolen from the enemy. The weapons Ken and his SEALs had been given, only 2 to split between the 5 of them, didn't work quite so well as the 7 pseudo-machine guns and sidearms that the SAS team had in their possession. Nah, unless tangos were bankrolled by a wealthy patron, they often couldn't afford anything but cheap-as-shit, rusty, or obsolete weapons. And the computer program, in an attempt to make the T's weapons seem as rusty, obsolete, and cheap-as-shit as possible, would occasionally and randomly cause them to jam. That program was a neat little piece of training software. Ken knew it inside and out. He ought to. He'd helped design it. Its one major flaw was that it could be uncomfortable to train with in hot weather, something they didn't have to worry about on a freeze-your-balls-off winter day like today. It required all the players in the training op to wear specially designed, long-sleeved uniforms, the fabric laced with a sensor grid. So in actuality, the computer didn't register the fact that a player died. It registered the fact that the player's uniform died. "You know, it's tempting," Ken told Gordy, "but I'm not a thief. I'm not going to steal your money by taking that bet." "Ah, but I have no problem stealing yours. Humor me, lad." "If you insist, but don't say I didn't warn you. Now take off your fucking clothes, Mackenzie, or we'll take 'em off for you." Gordy stared at him. "You're serious?" "Yes, I am." "You're going to cheat, aren't you bastard?" Ken nodded to Gilligan, Jank, and Silverman, who wrestled the Scotsman to the ground. He hummed happily to himself as he untied his own boots and kicked them off to get his legs free from his pants. This was going to be fun. "Hey, Lopez, you got scissors in your medical kit?" "Absolutely, Chief." Jank tossed him Gordy's pants, and Ken stepped into them. Yeah, the 2 men had the same height and build. Gordy's uniform shirt quickly followed, and he slipped that on, too. "You know how to cut hair?" he asked Lopez. The SEAL team's hospital corpsman looked at him, looked at Gordy, who was now being dressed in Ken's uniform like a giant uncooperative Barbie doll, and smiled. How hard could it be? "Let's go with something nice and short today." Ken sat down on a partially charred log someone had dragged inside, either to sit on or in an attempt to burn the place down. "I'd like the look that all the SAS boys are sporting these days. I think it would look smashing on me." He caught a glimpse of his reflection in the hut's only remaining window. With the exception of his hair, which grew much too quickly and tended to stand straight up when he ran his hands through it, in a certain light, especially when he tipped his head a certain way, Ken looked a little bit like George Clooney, too. "Captain," he murmured to himself in a perfect imitation of Scotty, honed from years of watching way too much Star Trek. A lonely, dorky, smart-ass loser of a kid who longed for a father more like Mr. Spock, ruled by logic instead of the kind of raw emotion that could make a man put his fist